So, have you ever had a single comment ruin your whole day, or replayed someone's offhand insult in your head over and over and over again?
Well, today we're talking about how to stop letting other people's words hijack your emotions and what Stoicism teaches us about reframing insults.
Yeah, if you're tired of carrying other people's remarks around, uh, this episode is for you.
So, welcome back to Coaching Conversations. I'm Maria Savio. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and life coach, and I help people transform their lives fast by combining ancient wisdom with modern psychology. And this is episode 3 of our Stoic mini course. And the last course, or the last section, was where we explored how reason and emotions are actually linked. They're partners as opposed to being enemies.
And I'm Lourdes Laper, a life coach and mindfulness teacher committed to helping people unlock their potential and cultivate confidence and calm. Today, we're getting tactical with how to deal with insults, criticisms, and those little comments that really sting.
Just a quick reminder: this podcast, this episode is supportive and educational. It's not therapy or a substitute for mental health care. So let's begin. Even a small insult can stick with you, for hours, for days, some cases for years, and it's it's normal. Our brains are actually wired to notice threats, even if they're social threats.
Yeah, the Stoics, especially Epictetus, knew this. He said, remember, it's not the things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them.
Yes. So when someone insults you, it's not just the words that they're saying, or it's the meaning that you're actually attaching to them. And usually what happens is when they say something, if there is even the slightest possibility in your own mind that it's true, then you focus on that one little part that might have an element of truth, and your brain just starts creating this whole narrative of why the whole statement is true. And so you start to spiral with everything that that person said, even if that person had no intent of insulting you or had no idea that this was anything that would even bother you. I mean, you've experienced that, of course, Lourdes. I
Oh,
have
most
many times.
certainly. Yeah, I mean, and this, whether or not you take the statement in and believe that there's a grain of truth, the 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 statement itself is going to, if you believe it, or if you get a rise out of your emotions from it, it's going to lead you down a certain path, a predictable path of feeling hurt, feeling insulted, feeling diminished, right? And whether it's whatever relationship it's in, whether it's a loved one, a spouse, a coworker, you carry that those words around, and oftentimes you add story to it, you embellish it, and then it becomes its whole other narrative. So you've expanded what was said, and it almost has a life of its own. But because we're prone to negativity, we're in social settings, we're um, beholden to wanting to belong, and so that's why it gets to the quick of us, right, Maria?
Right, right. It's that whole thing about not being thrown out of whatever tribe you're currently in, even if it's a tribe you're unhappy with, right? Even if it's a job that you don't really like, you don't want to be the odd person out, no matter what. And also, I think that the big thing here is that this is your narrative. And when we start to take responsibility for the fact that we're creating this story, it's not the circumstances, we slowly start to empower ourselves. And Epictetus had this brutal frame perspective. He says an insult is just sound waves, air moving through the space.
Yeah, and it only becomes a wound if we let it in, and if we give it meaning, or when we give it meaning, right? So what if you could pause and see the insult as just air, not a verdict, not a statement on your worth? That's the skill that we're building today.
Right. When you're insulted, you have three options, and the Stoic called these reframes. And we use this in modern psychology as well, the use of reframe. But option one would be that they're right. If so, it's feedback, and you use it to grow. So it's data points. Option two, they're wrong. And if it is, it's their misunderstanding. It's not your burden. It's not your business to try to correct their misunderstanding. If if the way that they delivered the message was intended to hurt you, that's their business. And option three is really telling, because they're embarrassing themselves. Sometimes the insults say more about them than it does about you. So each reframe puts the power back into your hands. It's always within your power, any one of these reframes.
Yeah, and I kind of want to go back to the second reframe, like they're wrong, right? And so depending on how they've communicated what they've said, it's about not taking things personally, but also, depending on who it is and their significance in your life, you're either going to have a conversation about it, or you're going to choose not to. If it's someone that you don't deal with often, or don't, they're not that significant in your life, then pick your battles, right? But ultimately, your job is to not take it personally. Um, so often we take people's offhand comments, what they say, what they do, and we make it mean something about us. And that's something that's within our control, how we take things in, right?
Right. I mean, the thing is that if everything that happens to you, you take it personally, if you think about that, it's it it's a little insane, really, because if you look at somebody else, right, and you think, oh, that person takes everything personally. Don't even look at yourself. If you look at the other person and you think, oh, they think everything is about them. Well, what is your thought when you think that that person thinks that everything is about them? You can see clearly that everything is not about them. Well, everything's not about you either. So if the waitress is mean to you, it's probably she's having a bad day. Maybe she's fighting with her spouse, or maybe she just found out she's going to get fired. Whatever it is, it's not about you. It could be that, yeah, she's maybe being short with you, and that is about you. But you know what? It's like something that you should, as Epictetus says, it's just waves in space passing through. It has no significance in who you are. Your identity is not attached by other people's opinion. And that's why Stoicism talks so much about internal validation as opposed to external validation. And when you're taking everything personally, you tend to have a lot of need or desire for external validation. And so that's something that you can, take your power back. And that's what these reframes are so strong, because they're about you saying, hey, this isn't about me. It's none of my business. And if it has any truth, then I'm going to take care of it. The buck stops here, as Truman used to say.
Yeah, and it's a tool that you can use over and it's something that you're cultivating. It's a practice that you're cultivating. If you notice yourself always taking other people's comments and behavior personally, this is something that you can alter. You can, bring awareness to the fact that you're doing it and then choose differently. This, reminds me very much of the Four Agreements by Don Miguel de Ruiz. Be impeccable with your word. Don't take things personally. Always do your best, of course. And what's the last one, Maria? For some reason, I'm blanking out on it.
Be impeccable with your word. I don't remember.
Don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions.
Oh, don't make assumptions. I was like, I don't remember.
Yeah, no, of course. Anyway, let's make this practical, right? Next time you're insulted, try this 10-second pause. First, notice the sting and name it. That hurt. Then remind yourself, this is just air, and I get to decide what it means. And third, choose a response. You can do nothing. You can ask for a clarification, right? Because you don't want to make assumptions. Or you can simply walk away, whatever serves you best. And practicing this pause helps you respond, not react.
Yeah, I really like this because, the truth is that when you start practicing that you're going to choose your response, it's that space between that first thought, your inclination, that's your habit, that's your reflex. And when you start catching that reflex, that's when you can really start maneuvering and changing and having a response that is within the character of the person that you want to be. Because, we tend to be very reactive, but we don't have to be reactive. We can train ourselves to have a pause instead of an immediate reaction. Not everything requires an immediate reaction. A pause is a beautiful thing. I mean, if you pause, it allows you to also validate the other person. It allows you to think for a second, and it allows you not to say something that's offensive or do the wrong thing. So I really like this practice. The pause is super important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, oftentimes when we don't pause, when we have that hair trigger reaction, we regret what we did afterwards. We regret what we said, but we regret, how we behaved, and it's avoidable. It's avoidable, right?
Yeah, and it takes practice. It's not something that it's done overnight. It does take practice, but once you get the hang of it, you'll notice that you're doing it a lot more than you ever even imagined that you could. But if you still feel the sting after trying this, it's normal. And, social pain is real.
Yeah, I mean, the goal isn't to become numb, it's to build the skill of not letting other people's words run your life.
Yeah. And again, over time, that pause is going to get easier and easier for you. And your emotional recovery, it's going to get a lot faster.
Absolutely. And so, in the next episode, we're going to talk about philosophical journaling and how to prepare your mind for tomorrow. If today's episode landed, reach out. Let's have a conversation. No pressure, just clarity.
And for more wisdom and resources to architect your own transformation, look for our book, A Path to Resilience, Small Steps to an Unshakable You. It blends mindfulness and the concepts of modern psychology and Stoicism. It's a year-long companion. It's so easy to read and digest one day at a time. It's daily wisdom. It's based on values of wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. And it's available online, and it's also available through our websites. And we want to just take a moment to thank all of you who've already purchased the book, and keep those reviews coming. We really truly appreciate them and appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. We're walking this path right alongside you. Take care of your heart, take care of your mind, take care of yourself. And if this episode resonated with you, like, follow, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that they're stronger than they think they are. We'll see you next time.